In his inaugural State of the Nation address 3 decades ago, Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first democratically elected president, emphasized the importance of fostering a culture of learning nationwide. However, today, 30 years later, thousands of learners face arduous journeys just to reach school. Eyewitness News accompanied Sibusiso Somgidi, a 17-year-old grade 11 student at Seaview Senior Secondary School, on his daily trek. It's a 45-minute journey each way for Sibusiso, who often makes the round trip twice daily, attending evening classes for extra learning. Sometimes he walks in darkness, sometimes he walks on an empty stomach. He navigates steep hills, deep valleys, a river prone to flooding, and a secluded forest, where he says criminals sometimes lie in wait.
Sometimes ndihambe ndindodwa kanye yabona ndindoyikuhamba ndodwa pha fumaniseke bafuna ndifowune uba ndiphethe ifowuni kubekho abantu abandihlangabezana. Ndifunayo njengoba bendithanda ndifuna ufundela uba i-minor nurse ne. Yes, uyabona mos nawo apha ekhaya yabo, so yes, ndingakha yabona ndizala ndinike usista wam yabo. Yes, uyabona mos nawo yabona le ndlela ndiyathenga nemoto yabo into ezinjalo.
Ndisuka eMpame, xa ndisiza esikolweni ndola ihlathi elikhulu and nomlambo. Xa kunethile iyagcwala ndingakwazi uza esikolweni. Uba ndisuke ngo-5 ndiyafika 7. Ndiyadinwa and kukhona intaba and andikwazi ngezinye imini andingeni morning class ngoba late. Ne-afternoon ndiye ndiyoyike ukuza esikolweni kuba ndiwela ihlathi. Ndoyika kuthiwa abantu abahlala apha abareyiphayo. Ukhona owabanjwa phaa qha waye wabhaqwa ngoku waze wabaleka ntshona ehlathini.
I walk on rivers and there are some things that are happening there. Some children are dying, they drown. Impahla kasendiwela umlambo nje ndisikhulule. For example, isihlangu nekawusi ndiyasikhulula. Sometimes ndingezi esikolweni.
30 years ago, the education system was very fractured. There were multiple departments of education along both terms of race within South Africa, but then there were also the former homelands of Transkei, Ciskei, Bophuthatswana, etc. The new administration inherited a system that the funding of education was incredibly unequal. Black learners were receiving approximately 10% of the budget that white learners were receiving. And so there was a massive backlog in terms of the infrastructure in schools, the resources that were available, the number of teachers that were available in the different areas, the curriculums that differed. So it was really a big job to try and unify the country into one equal education system. So the first thing that needs to be pointed out is that the scale and scope of the problem is unknown. And that is because, particularly in the Eastern Cape, the administrative systems are just not up to scratch. So the number of classrooms that are overcrowded, the number of children that are not receiving scholar transport, it really is a big grey area. And that is something that has a huge impact on the department's ability to plan effectively, because they just don't know what the scope of the problem is. Overcrowding, we know, is a huge problem. There are estimates of between 1,000 and 5,000 classrooms required to bring the number in line with the norms and standards for school infrastructure, which sets the maximum number at 40 children per classroom in the high school. But as we know, there are some schools that have classrooms with well over 100 children in the class.
I've never seen a science class with a large number, like 108 students. We were 108, and then this year we are divided into two. We have TOEF A1 and TOEF A2. So like learning in a class full of students, 216 eyes watching you during presentation, was difficult. I don't want to lie. And yeah, we do have students that are like, some of them are in their own world, some of us are in class trying to focus. So we end up losing focus because not all of us came to school for the same reason. Some of us came to pursue our goals and dreams, but some are just here for fun. They're just here because, okay, I have to go to school. So maybe your desk mate doesn't have the same reason as you. It's just going to start a conversation and they'll end up laughing, not paying attention to what the teacher is saying. And then some of them end up getting bad grades, and then they're gonna accuse the teacher.
113. It's grade 8. Grade 8A, D, or grade 8D. We have 4 grade 8 classes, and all of them, they have this huge number, as you see, yes. You see, these ones, when we say the class is small, this is the way of the small number that we used to. Nibanga class? 62. Yes, that's a small class. We can say that this is a small class.
In February 2020, the High Court in Mthatha granted an order for the Eastern Cape Education Department to build more classrooms for the severely overcrowded Mqeba High School. 4 years later, and the construction is now underway and due to be completed this year.
This construction or this building will help us a lot. If my memory serves me very well, it was 28 prefabs, I think 28 classrooms. Yes, it will make a huge difference.
We know it is not the right thing to do, to pack these learners like sardines in classrooms. But most of the time we don't have a choice. So it's been a challenge, but at least now there is light at the end of the tunnel. The work was supposed to have started in November last year, but there were some glitches here and there. They couldn't start. So they have started towards the end of January, and they are supposed to have finished everything by end November. That's what they told. That's what the contract says. After everything is complete, I can tell you now that we will be the happiest educators in the Eastern Cape as a whole. So immediately these classrooms are divided, and then it's going to be a very good thing for the school, because if they are packed like that, you can't give an individual attention. You can't give an individual attention to these learners. You sort of generalize in whatever you do. But if they are a sizable number in a classroom, then it's very easy to deal with them. You know that this one, the weakness is that one, this one is the strongest one, and you are able to deal with them, and it will have a positive impact to the school. It's quite a lot, 28 classrooms. I think they will be able to carry this load. So It's a game changer actually to have this classroom. It will be a game changer.
In Dikidikini village, the nearest school, Mneketshe Junior Secondary, is separated by 10 kilometers of steep mountainside, covered in dense bush. Learners have to hike this distance to reach their classes every day. Last year in January, the villagers took a desperate step by converting the local church, a run-down mud building, into a satellite school for the lower grades to help some of the younger learners to reach the school more easily. A mother of 6 who had dropped out of the school due to the distance when she was younger spoke to Eyewitness News.
Ndaya esikolweni ndahlulakala grade 2. Isizathu sakudala uba ndiyeke isikolo kuba kude kwendlela. Ndakuthi ndahlulakala kokufunda. Ndasiyeka isikolo. Ndahlulwa yindlela. Ndinalo ixhala nangexesha abahamba ngalo abashiya sisalele. Ndinalo ixhala ngabantwana ngoba awuthi akho umuntu abagada apha endleleni, bahamba ebunzimeni behamba emahlathini baze bofika laphana, befika kade nabo ngo-9 ngenxa yendawo bakude. Ndiyanqwenela babapasa u-10 ngoba nam ndiye ndithethe ngam, ndithi bantwana bam ningazifanisi nam, mna ndehlulakala yindlela. Nyamezelani okanye ekunyamezeni kwenu ikhona umvuzo onowuthola. Ndinqwenela uba i-transport yabantwana babe khona basi ndinayo iwaridi wesingalo amncinca intombazana. Ndinqwenela i-transport masiyichole abantwana bakwazi ukuhambe ngemoto.
Despite government's clear obligations in terms of providing scholar transport and adequate school infrastructure, 30 years after the first democratic elections, learners in the Eastern Cape and across the country are still facing fundamental challenges when it comes to realizing their constitutionally enshrined right to education.